So we're back, and I'm gonna let you get us started because I'm still fucking reeling.
Yeah, of course we've just wrapped up here probably the most incredible episode of Ignition to date. But ladies and gentlemen, we are actually only a few days away from our next premium live event, our pay-per-view. SOW presents Pit Stop 2024. Saturday, September 21st at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, live on twitch.tv. And let's talk about this card because tonight this card evolved in ways that we did not expect. So, really quick, let's talk about this. The opening match, which was announced earlier tonight, the National Heavyweight Championship will be on the line. Mars Namor defends his title against El Rey de Guerra and Castro Linkton, two guys who have a lot of personal beef, as we just saw their stablemates go to war in the main event of this episode of Ignition. But Caster, earlier tonight, claiming that he deserved a title shot more, and Mars saying, we're not even going to worry about that because I beat you both before. I'll do it again. However, this time, he's got everything to lose because making this match a triple threat means that he has forfeited his champion's advantage. And I don't know about you, but as a champion, your first major championship run in a significant amount of time in your career, I don't know if my first pay-per-view defense would have me giving that up.
Definitely not. Mars Namor is a braver man than I could ever hope to be. And just to quickly add on, real quick, to the whole, it's insane to me specifically because even though he has beaten them both before, it was under very odd circumstances. First, the match was randomly changed just before from a regular Fatal 4-Way to an elimination, meaning that Caster Leakton losing didn't end the match, but then the match hit the time limit. They restarted it in sudden death, and he won by knocking Rey de Guerra out with a concussion. I mean, yes, we can argue that Caster Leakton definitely did lose that match. But can we really say that Ray did? Or is it another Clint situation where he only lost because of a bad fall?
And that will be the big story heading into this match is can Mars Namor prove once and for all that he deserves to be the first ever SOW National Heavyweight Champion. But changing gears from that championship to the Tag Team Championships, which will be defended, and the Dark Crusade will defend against Sendu Darlo for the second pay-per-view in a row. Sendu Darlo, once again, coming into this match with an insane amount of momentum, getting this huge victory over the Honored tonight. And now they're looking to show that this time they have the Dark Crusade's number. They are more ready than before. And because the Dark Crusade tonight, possibly a strategy was exposed to beat them as they faced the Wild Monsters, and the Wild Monsters separating them into their corner for the majority of the match, and it almost resulted in an upset victory on this episode of Ignition. I'll get your thoughts on this match here. You're a lot closer to the Dark Crusade than I am. How do you feel about this matchup that we're going to get to see for a second time?
Well, I'm going to say this. I have some concerns about Tony Lee. Now, I'm not saying that he's a bad wrestler because he's not. He's really excellent. But he has a tendency to underestimate his opponents. He's been doing it a lot lately, and it hasn't caused any problems yet. But we could almost see them during that match where he was the one getting dragged over more often, and he was trying and struggling to just fight off both of these guys who were tearing him down. Now, granted, thankfully, he was always able to get out and get over to his partner, tag Byron back in, and then Byron, he wasn't doing as usual dominance that he used to. We didn't even see much disrespect from Byron in that match. Usually, he's the one showing off a little bit in terms of the I could beat you with my eyes closed attitude. This time he seemed focused and ready. So I think there's a risk there where one of them may not be quite on page with the other. We'll have to see how that goes on the show. However, if they are on page together, and they can, work and cooperate and not underestimate their opponents at all and focus, I don't see a world in which the tag titles change at Pit Stop. It all comes down to the attitudes they have going in.
Speaking of attitudes, we saw this rivalry that started out a few weeks ago on Ignition reach a boiling point tonight as Maria Ramirez will take on her bitter rival, La Sombra Altísima, in a match type that both of us were very unfamiliar with, but is going to possibly change the career trajectories of both of these women. If you want to recap the stipulations that they set on each other and what you think can lead to a victory for either side.
Yeah, so this is a step up or shut up match. And so the first stipulation set by Maria Ramirez, first off, the match itself is no DQs, and both sides make a demand of one another in order to determine the feud's result. In this case, Maria Ramirez has made the demand that La Sombra Altísima will not be allowed to challenge for the SOW Women's World Championship until she can beat Maria Ramirez. And Sombra has made the condition, in return, that should Maria lose, she will be shaved bald, have to change her ring gear to match the colors of La Sombra Altísima, and will be forced to be La Sombra's manager, essentially. And Maria, on top of all that, said, yeah, sure, let me also say that if I lose, somehow, I will make sure you win the Women's World Championship, so I can be the one to beat you for it.
What an absolute insane stipulation set by both of these women. And we know that, Maria tonight actually took Altísima out of action. She was scheduled to compete against Nishi Kazumi tonight, and instead Maria took her place in the match. So we know that Maria is willing to get dirty a la Trent Taylor style if that's what it takes to win. In a no DQ match, as impressive as Altísima has looked here in SOW, I'm concerned about her ability to, can she land that death blow, that finishing blow, or will Maria Ramirez possibly steal this one away from her and steal her luchadora mask in the process?
Moving forward, speaking of can they deal the finishing blow, we have the Women's World Championship on the line, specifically between somebody who started out at the bottom and has managed to earn a world title shot by the virtue of being granted it by the champion, then proceeding to a time limit draw in a match type that was generally well suited to her, now facing said champion in a rematch with no stipulations, a normal rematch. Can Charlie Scene, in a situation where she is worse off than she was before, pull out the victory against Bea Quinn?
Well, you know that if you're asking me that question,
I know your answer. Yes, no is your answer. Absolutely not.
I don't think so. No, I haven't seen enough from Charlie Scene to say that she's even in the same league as Bea Quinn. And while she did have that 60-minute time limit draw, she still couldn't defeat Bea Quinn.
Yeah, that's exactly.
She had 60 minutes to do it, and honestly, I think Bea could have went another 60.
I was literally going to say this. I feel the only reason that match hit time is Bea Quinn is not a submission specialist. She does not use submission moves very often, and as we saw in that match, she tried to employ a few, and given that Charlie Scene is quite the submission specialist, she was able to just pop out of them.
Exactly. So Bea Quinn is definitely, I think, my personal favorite, and likely when the betting odds come out for this match will be the odds-on favorite.
And speaking of favorites, let's just go ahead and move forward to another favorite, two favorites actually, and both in an insane match, which normally our final talking point would be the championship, the women's championship, since it's going to be the main event. But we have a massive dream match on the card. Meiji Kaito, the Golden Star of Japan, versus your boy,
The Death Game, Aaron Payne, and oh my god, this is my early pick for match of the night right here. This is a match of the year contender, even, and we've seen plenty of those even just on this last episode of Ignition before the show. Yeah, these two guys are currently the only, I believe, undefeated competitors in the men's division. Let me confirm that.
There is Mars Namor, who is
Mars
still
Namor.
undefeated, but he is already the national champion, and as national champion, you can't challenge for the world title.
Yes.
Not
so
until
this
6
match,
months.
This match is going to be incredible. I mean, Aaron Payne has been on an absolute tear. I mean, he's quite literally undefeated. One thing that we haven't really had the chance to talk about is that while Meiji Kaito has a 3-0 singles record, he has lost in tag team competition. In fact, he was the one who got the team of himself and Suave Jackson to lose to the Blood Alliance.
Yeah,
so it's not that Meiji Kaito is invincible.
No, not at all. And I will be honest, part of me wonders, he tapped out at only about, 16, 17 minutes?
It was pretty early.
It feels almost like, for a cage match especially, to have tapped out that quickly. I'm not going to be super conspiracy theory, but I feel like his heart wasn't in that match. Because he wanted singles competition, and remember, the winner of that match essentially got locked into tag competition.
At least for a month, and you could be correct that was a reason why he would have done that. But
I'm not saying he tapped on purpose or that he was trying to lose the match for the team. I don't think he'd ever do that. I just think that he didn't have the energy that he normally has in a match because he didn't want to be a tag competitor.
But he's going to have to bring everything he's got to defeat Aaron Payne. If you give the Death Game a chance, even a sliver of a chance of letting your guard down, the match is over. You're asleep. You're going to get hit with the GTS or one of his other amazing signature moves. And it's going to be goodbye, Meiji Kaito. You're getting packed up down the bottom of the rankings.
Absolutely. And furthermore, on top of that, let's not forget about the age difference. While that means that Meiji has a lot more experience overall than the Death Game, it also means that his body might not be as strong.
That's very true. We've seen incredible feats of strength from Aaron Payne. He is my boy. Mm-hmm. So, of course, I want him to win. But I truly do believe that Hermes picking these two guys to be the ones facing off in a number one contenders match is absolutely the correct decision. And honest to God, it could go either way. All I know, we're in for a treat. This Saturday at Pit Stop.
So tune in, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to be having a hell of a show. I'm the Devil DeVille, and this is my partner MD Punk. And we're signing off for the first time.